Well, you're from Virginia, right?
Yes, Virginia, LA, where I'm bi-coastal, so yeah.
Nice. And but you don't really hear much about the Virginia music scene. What's the scene like there?
Yeah, there's really nothing there. There's some cover bands, I guess, that play around. I kind of just stay holed up in my studio and, don't really go out and play
Yeah.
bands or anything like that. And so there's no original music scene kind of whatsoever. I guess the kind of claim to fame of, I guess, Virginia would be Dave Matthews and Bruce Hornsby.
And you're upholding the music
Yeah,
scene.
right. Right, that's very nice of you to say.
Hey, I happen to think you're the best Virginia artist I've heard in a long time. I was listening to the album this morning.
Oh, great.
And tell me about the album. What mind frame did you go into recording with? What emotions did you want portrayed?
Well, it's kind of what I'm kind of going through at the time. So, all the work that I do, I relate to it all in one way or another. So, it's what I'm kind of thinking about, or what has happened to me, or how I've interacted with someone, or so it's all kind of related to the recent trauma I guess I'm going through at the time.
Right, but it's got to help you writing it and getting it out there and sharing.
Absolutely.
So let's go back to the beginning. What initially sparked your interest in music?
Well, I started at a really early age. I started playing drums when I was 5 years old, and my parents had a record player, a radio. It was kind of a freestanding unit. And I can remember putting my head against the speaker cabinet on this thing, and listening to my dad's records for hours at a time. So I got into it all at a very early age.
Which one of his records was your favorite?
Let me see. Let me think. He had this album by the group Washington Square. And I don't even know what that even means, but and Roger Miller, he was a big Roger Miller fan.
Mm-hmm. And you liked those too?
Well, that was the only thing I was exposed to. That's the first kind of music and kind of melody that I had ever heard before, and that's just kind of what he had. So it went from there to the Beatles pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. And do you find you still listen to any of that music like he was listening to then, now?
No, but that would be interesting to dial that stuff up and hear what it sounds like now.
Yeah.
See, what was his name? King of the Road. That's Roger Miller, right? That did Dang Me and all that kind of thing. I think that's Roger Miller.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever really listened to him.
Yeah, I bet you've heard it. But, you know what? That sounds like an interesting project to do. I have a little bit of time. I'll remember to do that.
Yeah. You'd be surprised, too. There are albums that I find that I used to listen to long time ago that you'd think you've forgotten and everything, but somehow you know every word still.
That's the beautiful part of music, because it'll just transport you right back to a certain moment in time, right down to what you were smelling in the air. It's fantastic how that works.
So true. It's such a powerful thing. And speaking of the power it has, right now in the music industry, there's a big debate going on with the whole music saves lives thing. Where do you stand on that? Do you think music can save a life?
I think it can change a person. Absolutely. I believe that. And I think it can change your point of view. And back when I was listening to music, when I really got into it, there was no social media. There was no, you had television and all that stuff. But, you didn't have the internet really, or a Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of these kind of social things. So you were really so psyched, and all you did was listen to music all the time. That's all you talked about. And when you really got into an album and listened to the lyrics and how how the music works with the lyrics. I mean, it could really change your life and change your point of view and change how you're feeling. You know, if
Definitely.
and you're feeling sad or depressed or something like that, you know, it could absolutely save a life. I believe that.
I do too. Definitely. And it was probably better too without the social media because you were getting such a uninterrupted thought of it. You know, there wasn't any influence on you to like it like there is now.
I know, it's really sad. You know, when my daughter, she's listening to music through the speakers on her computer while she's, you know, managing 3 or 4 other devices on multiple social networks. I go, oh, you're listening to the music.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been relegated to background noise, you know, while you kind of do your thing. And that's, I mean, all the work that I put into making records and the emotion and everything, and it's just falling on deaf ears. It's disheartening in a way.
Yeah, but then there are always those fans who are always going to be there to really understand it too.
Yeah.
Really let it take hold.
Yeah, that. Right.
I find myself doing that sometimes too, where I'm not really listening to music. I'll be going so much and everything, and then you'll sit down and you'll listen to one song that's really powerful, and you're like, whoa, this is why I love music, right?
Well, sometimes it's appropriate to have music as kind of background music. You're kind of at a party, or you know, if you're kind of socializing, interacting with another human being, you know, that's more important than listening to the music at the time. But you know, we would get together, me and my friends, and we would listen to music, and there's no talking. There's no talking when the music is played, and so you sit and listen. So the song's over. Okay, let's discuss what just happened. Okay, you know, wow, that was heavy. You know, so then you kind of talk it out, and then the next guy goes, okay, man, I want to play one. And it's kind of like, you know, this is what I've kind of been feeling, and, you know, dig it, man, check this out. So you play that, no talking, there's no talking. That's an insult to the other person, and that's kind of the way I kind of grew up listening to music. So it was really disrespectful to even think about talking while you're listening to music. So it stays at that time.
That's really great. Really gives you time to absorb it all. There's so much going on in every single song, so many emotions. Can't really
I know, and the more you listen to it, the deeper it goes. You know, on good music and good albums, the more times you listen to it, you know, my music especially, it's you know, it's not a first pass thing. You know, as you listen to it, you start hearing things that you didn't know was there, and start feeling, and which triggers certain emotions and all that stuff. I think about all that.
Well, you've got to. That's how quality music is made. There's so much music coming out now that has no emotion in it whatsoever, and it's just not. It doesn't cut it.
I know, I agree. It's just mindless, empty-headed. Well, you know, the pop music scene has kind of always been that way. You know, empty-headed pop music, but you know, there's not a lot of. There's good music out there, for sure, but you got to dig for it. It's not gonna rise to the surface. You got to dig.
Yeah, you got to find it for sure. And a lot of the best is from older decades. Like, I'm a huge 90s fan. Basically, all I listen to is like 90s alternative and rock.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's each, you know, decade there is great music out there, and most of it, there's some fantastic music out there, but most of it is never heard because it's not, you know, what the labels can make money on. So it has to be, you know, mass appeal and cookie cutter kind of style, and so the quality of the music suffers. But you know, the good news that's out there, and you know, once it's released and kind of set loose on the world, it's kind of there forever for someone to discover.
Definitely. And I guess that is part of the upside of social media. Now there's more mediums to discover even older music.
I agree. You know, back in the day, the record labels had all the distribution locked up, and you had to have a record deal or go through their thing to even get your music heard. And so now with, anything can be kind of put up and is out there to be discovered, and that is definitely a good thing.
For sure. And what's the biggest lesson you've learned in your time in the music industry? What's the most important thing to go into the industry knowing?
To be true to your heart, write the music or play the music that you really feel. Don't try to jump on the current bandwagon and try to go, oh wow, this is popular. Let's write some songs like that. The people that are out there listening, like you and everyone else, they know the difference. If it's not sincere, you can tell when you hear it. And so I would say that be true to what you believe in, even if it's not the flavor of the day or whatever, because that is truly you and that is unique. And whether it sells or whether it does not sell, nobody can say that it's, because it is truly yours. And if it doesn't go or it does go, you don't have to say, well, the producer screwed it up, the label made me do this, I had to do this song. It's truly yours, and you can own it and hold your head up high at the end of the day, even if it flops or doesn't sell anything. And that's the most important thing. So 50 years from now, your family will listen to that thing. That's the music he made. It wasn't like trying to sound like somebody else or doing cover music or something like that. So I think that's what I would say. But a lot of people can't really write music, so a lot of good musicians just wind up playing cover music because they can't, I guess, tap into that, for some reason or another.
Definitely, and you can definitely hear it too if someone really means what they're saying. It'll be longer standing rather than just being a fad that everyone loves right now.
Right. I mean, it's just like having a conversation with someone too. You can tell if they're insincere, or if they're trying to blow smoke at their skirt, or you can tell when you're looking at someone. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Definitely. In my experience of interviewing, I've found that out majorly. You can tell when bands aren't quite as into the music of it as they would like to seem.
Yeah, I know. You can run up your hand high.
Hello?
Yes. Hello?
Are you there? It beeped.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. Sorry about that.
I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere too, but I'm just at my house.
Okay, good.
So what's next for you? Where do you go from here?
Well, I'm in the studio, and I actually just sent 6 more songs to mix, and I'll probably release that in January as a EP, and I'm excited about those. I spend every day in recording studio writing and recording and working every day. And it just kind of keeps coming, though. But I think I probably need a break. I've been going nonstop for the past 3 or 4 years, so.
Well, the holiday season's coming up. That's a good time to take a break.
Yeah, right, absolutely.